can't afford health insurance, hope that you don't get sick. If a company releases toxic pollution into the air your children breathe, well, that's the price of progress. If you can't afford to start a business or go to college, take my opponent's advice and borrow money from your parents.
Oh my God. Wow.
You know what? That's not who we are. That's not what this country's about. As Americans, we believe we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, rights that no man or government can take away. We insist on personal responsibility, and we celebrate individual initiative. We're not entitled to success. We have to earn it. We honor the strivers, the dreamers, the risk takers, the entrepreneurs who have always been the driving force behind our free enterprise system, the greatest engine of growth and prosperity that the world's ever known. But we also believe in something called citizenship. Citizenship, a word at the very heart of our founding, a word at the very essence of our democracy. The idea that this country only works when we accept certain obligations to one another and to future generations. We believe that when a CEO pays his auto workers enough to buy the cars that they build, the whole company does better. We believe that when a family can no longer be tricked into signing a mortgage they can't afford, that family's protected, but so is the value of other people's homes. And so is the entire economy. We believe the little girl who's offered an escape from poverty by a great teacher or a grant for college could become the next Steve Jobs, or the scientist who cures cancer, or the President of the United States, and it is in our power to give her that chance. We know that churches and charities can often make more of a difference than a poverty program alone. We don't want handouts for people who refuse to help themselves, and we certainly don't want bailouts for banks that break the rules. We don't think that government can solve all of our problems, but we don't think that the government is the source of all of our problems, any more than our welfare recipients, or corporations, or unions, or immigrants, or gays, or any other group we're told to blame for our troubles. Because America, we understand that this democracy is ours. We, the people, recognize that we have responsibilities as well as rights, that our destinies are bound together, that a freedom which asks only what's in it for me, a freedom without a commitment to others, a freedom without love or charity or duty or patriotism is unworthy of our founding ideals and those who died in their defense. As citizens, we understand that America is not about what can be done for us, it's about what can be done by us, together, through the hard and frustrating but necessary work of self-government. That's what we believe. So you see, the election 4 years ago wasn't about me.
Say so.
It was about you.
Yes.
My fellow citizens, you were the change. You're the reason there's a little girl with a heart disorder in Phoenix who'll get the surgery she needs because an insurance company can't limit her coverage. You did that. You're the reason reason a young man in Colorado who never thought he'd be able to afford his dream of earning a medical degree is about to get that chance. You made that possible. You're the reason a young immigrant who grew up here and went to school here and pledged allegiance to our flag will no longer be deported from the only country she's ever called home. Why selfless soldiers won't be kicked out of the military because of who they are or who they love. Why thousands of families have finally been able to say to the loved ones who served us so bravely, welcome home. Welcome home. You did that. You did that. You did that. If you turn away now, if you buy into the cynicism that the change we fought for is impossible, well, change will not happen. If you give up on the idea that your voice can make a difference, then other voices will fill the void. Lobbyists, special interests, the people with the $10 million checks who are trying to buy this election, and those who are trying to make it harder for you to vote. Washington politicians who want to decide who you can marry or control health care choices that women should be making for themselves. Only you can make sure that doesn't happen. Only you have the power to move us forward. You know, I recognize that times have changed since I first spoke to this convention. Times have changed, and so have I. I'm no longer just a candidate. I'm the president. I know what it means to send young Americans into battle. For I've held in my arms the mothers and fathers of those who didn't return. I've shared the pain of families who lost their homes and the frustration of workers who lost their jobs. If the critics are right that I've made all my decisions based on polls, then I must not be very good at reading. And while I'm very proud of what we've achieved together, I'm far more mindful of my own failings, knowing exactly what Lincoln meant when he said, I have been driven to my knees many times by the overwhelming conviction that I had no place else to go.
All right now.
But as I stand here tonight, I have never been more hopeful about America. Not because I think I have all the answers, not because I'm naive about the magnitude of our challenges. I'm hopeful because of you. The young woman I met at a science fair who won national recognition for her biology research while living with her family at a homeless shelter.
Yes.
She gives me hope. The auto worker who won the lottery after his plant almost closed but kept coming to work every day and bought flags for his whole town and one of the cars that he built to surprise his wife. He gives me hope. The family business in Warroad, Minnesota that didn't lay off a single one of their 4,000 employees when the recession hit, even when their competitors shut down dozens of plants, even when it meant the owner gave up some perks and some pay, because they understood that their biggest asset was the community and the workers who had helped build that business. They give me hope. think about the young sailor I met at Walter Reed Hospital, still recovering from a grenade attack, who caused him to have his leg amputated above the knee. 6 months ago, we would watch him walk into a White House dinner honoring those who served in Iraq. Tall, 20 pounds heavy, dashing in his uniform, with a big grin on his face, sturdy on his new leg. And I remember how a few months after that, I would watch him on a bicycle, racing with his fellow wounded warriors on a sparkling spring day, inspiring other heroes who had just begun the hard path he had traveled. He gives me hope. He gives me hope. I don't know what party these men and women belong to. I don't know if they'll vote for me. But I know that their spirit defines us. They remind me in the words of Scripture that ours is a future filled with hope. And if you share that faith with me, if you share that hope with me, I ask you tonight for your vote. If you reject the notion that this nation's promise is reserved for the few, your voice must be heard in this election. If you reject the notion that our government is forever beholden to the highest bidder, you need to stand up in this election. If you believe that new plants and factories can dot our landscape, that new energy can power our future, that new schools can provide ladders of opportunity to this nation of dreamers, if you believe in a country where everyone gets a fair shot and everyone does their fair share and everyone plays by the same rules, then I need you to vote this November.
And what did you think about the president's speech tonight?
I thought it was outstanding. I'm overwhelmed. I can't even speak about it. It was so great. Fantastic. He's a fantastic man. And I hope that these people will realize it and vote for him and not listen to the lies that the Republicans are telling people.
If you could say anything to a young person thinking about voting for the first time, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to listen to him and believe in him, because he really is all the hope that we have, because he is our hope.
So what did you think about Obama's speech?
I loved it. I think he covered everything he needed to. I know he's doing what he's supposed to. He's taking care of business. I knew it wasn't going to happen in 4 years. He needs the rest of the time to take care of what he's got to do.
Do you think, what kind of impact do you think his speech had on the crowd?
If it was me, we were fired up. I believed what he said, and I believe in him. So I think he'll do the right thing. As a veteran, I know he's doing the right thing for us. So therefore, he got my vote. As long as you take care of my soldiers, I can do that.
So you're a retired veteran?
Retired Navy.
I didn't even ask you your name and where you're from.
Oh, it's all right. My name is Denise, and I'm from here, actually. I just don't live here. Yeah, but I'm actually from Charlotte. My brother is actually a retired policeman here. He's on the security team.
What kind of impact do you think the DNC has had on the city of Charlotte?
Oh, it's amazing. Economically, it's been great. So it's been a little hard for the security, but they can handle that. So, but yeah, it's been good for the people. It keeps them going, and we need the influx. So it's good for us.
And so overall, have you been here all week?
Yeah, I have.
So have you seen all the speeches?
I haven't seen all of them. I saw most of them on TV because I kind of stayed out of it. You know, there was so many people downtown. I understand downtown, so I didn't really need to come to see all of it. I watched them on TV, so I do know what they said, and I did see the impact. Some were better than others, but overall, I think they did a really good job.
Whose speech stood out to you?
Besides the president, I think Mrs. Obama and the congresswoman or governor from Michigan with the auto industry.
Okay.
She was amazing. You know, not only was she for her people in the auto industry, she understood the women, and it's like, when you understand women's rights and the veterans and the auto industry, that's the backbone of our country. You know, you take away the factories and that's a problem. They've taken all our jobs out of America. I understand that. I'm allergic to most cotton. I can't wear things that are made in other countries. So it's really hard for me to find something to buy in America. So I appreciate that they're bringing the jobs back. So it works for me.
And one word, after the night, after hearing the speech, just give me one word that can summarize your thoughts.
Amazed.
Amazed?
Yeah. I knew he'd be good, but I think it was just, he's awesome. He's even better in person than he is on TV. It's like I've seen him, and like I said, I have a lot of respect for the man. He took on something that most people wouldn't take on, you know, and he did a good job. It was hard, it wasn't easy, he didn't get all of it right, but he did his best, and he was out there fighting the whole time. It's like, for the most part, he's taking care of us, and I see better things in the future.
Well, we appreciate your time.
Thank you. I know I talk a lot, right?
No, that's beautiful. Beautiful. What were your thoughts about the DNC overall and then President Obama's speech?
Well, the DNC was energized, it was prepared, it was capable and ready to tell its story, to communicate its message, that it has done a great deal of good for this nation. The opening night that featured Michelle Obama was extraordinary. The next night with Bill Clinton was even more, was equally extraordinary. And then, of course, tonight with President Obama articulating his message, telling America the truth about what's been going on, a profound humility at the core of his message, that it's not about me, it's about you. Hope and Change was never about a phenomenal messianic figure like a Barack Obama. It was rather about the transformative effect of people coming together as citizens determined to change the course of history. So I think this was an incredible DNC convention, and I think it's an amazing place to express the hope and change that people felt 4 years ago, chastened by political resistance and intransigence. The Republican Party has worked tooth and nail against everything the man has tried to do, but despite that, Obama has done some incredible stuff. His administration has done some incredible stuff, and I'm ready to go out and tell that story, and of course encourage others to vote as well.
One last question, we don't want to take up too much of your time. What do you think it means that they brought the DNC to Charlotte, North Carolina?
Well, you know, we're here in the South, the Queen City. It's a place, of course, that has a complicated labor history, a right-to-work state, but I think that they ought to challenge some of the presuppositions inherent in some of the old South stereotypes. You've got a mayor, Anthony Fox, who's a progressive, bright young man trying to forge connections to make a change in this city. You've got the old South dying away and the new South emerging. You've got the determination. We are in Jesse Helms' backyard. He may be rolling over in his grave because we've transformed this Queen City into a sparkling citadel and a beacon light of hope for democratic principles, small d. And as Obama has indicated, it's not simply about us versus them. Look at the prayer tonight, praying for Mitt Romney. Did they pray for Obama in the Republican convention? Look at this convention where the bipartisan efforts of Barack Obama were made front and center, but not the naive belief that you simply turn over, if you will, the wheel of the car to the Republicans, who are determined to wreck the thing and to wreck the economy in the process, and to give in to the most vicious, marginal voices within their party, the Tea Party in particular. Yes, I believe in the ability of anger to motivate and mobilize politics in the same way that the Tea Party is not, with the exception that they are concerned about the Constitution, they're concerned about the size of government, but they've also invested deeply and profoundly in otherizing Obama as if he's from some other planet. He's from America, he is American, and at our best, we can disagree, but we don't have to demonize each other. I think that's what we saw here. This convention looks like America. Compare this convention to what happened in Tampa, Florida. Compare what happened here with the Democrats to what happened to the Republicans. Republicans, rich, mostly white brothers and sisters with some imported African Americans and Latinos. This convention, a tremendous colloquy of voices. Gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual, black, white, red, brown, coming together, male, female, telling the truth that a woman's body is owned by a woman, not by the state to determine the course of a woman's life. So that what we saw here was the opportunity equation opened up, the algebra of opportunity brilliantly parsed. What we saw in Tampa was a denial of that incredible opportunity. So I'm glad to be here tonight, glad to see history made, but we got to continue to make that history and to make the dreams and ambitions of the best Americans real, especially on November 6th. Peace.